Welcome back to the You Are Immeasurable podcast, season 3. This season is going to be dedicated to those of us that are on our journey of healing and transformation. The focus of this season is going to be to identify and recognize healthy and unhealthy relationship dynamics. We're going to talk a lot about the spiritual tools that we'll need to become acquainted with to help us to stand, to operate in, and to flourish as our authentic self. Things like shadow work, energy healing, which will help us to shred or shed the guilt, the shame that we've been carrying, and also to do some much needed subconscious reprogramming. Now, as always, the episodes are going to air weekly, and the purpose of them is to support you as you embrace and become acquainted with your enlightened and untethered higher self. So I want you to grab your water, your juice, your wine, or your tea or your coffee, and let's toast to each other and our growth, our elevation, and abundance. Let's talk about connections. And I know that a lot of times we hear that connection. That's how you grow. That's how you elevate. That's how you get to the next level based on your connections. But here's the thing that we don't hear about a lot, or I think a lot of times we overlook. Because yes, it's a beautiful thing to connect with new people, to connect with people that we can learn something from, to connect with people who can show us the way. But a lot of times we also overlook connections we already have. And I've spoken about this before, and it's something that pops up a lot for me as it's one of those learned things, one of those subconscious things that we don't realize is there until it pops up. And it's this little, I don't know if I want to call it an analogy or just in my mind, it's an image, it's a picture, it's a movie, right? Think about it from the concept of, I'll say, spring cleaning. This is something that we do every year, or we should do, or we think about it, or we hear about when the season is changing from winter into spring, right? It's time to clean out stale things. It's time to get rid of old shit. It's time to, freshen everything up. And so a lot of times when I think about, okay, what am I holding on to that could be preventing me from moving forward today? And think of it from the standpoint of, I think it was a reel. I think it was yesterday. I think I saw it on Facebook. It was this lady and she's like, when I get the cleaning bug and I decide that I'm going to deep clean and get rid of stuff in my closet. And the image was she's sitting on the floor in her closet and she's surrounded by trash bags. And you can see in the trash bags that it's filled with clothes. And then it's another pile over here that might be the I'm a keep pile or the maybe pile. And so it's basically just shit everywhere. She's sitting on the floor and she's eating Oreos because she's gotten overwhelmed. Here's the thing with that. A lot of times we're so wrapped up in, okay, I need to make these connections. I need to talk to people. I need to connect with people. I need to find my people. If you're an entrepreneur, this is something that you hear a lot of when it comes to cultivating an audience or building your audience, or it could be you're trying to figure out, okay, who are my people? And so we're focusing on those types of connections in the now. And then where we sometimes get to a point that we're like, okay, why is this not landing? Why is this not working? I'm doing that. I'm posting this. I'm recording videos and reels and I'm doing all these things and nothing seems to be happening. Or I'm going to networking events in person and I'm talking to people and I'm saying, hey, I'm getting people's ads and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna follow you, follow me back. All of these things that we've got going on. And we don't realize that, okay, we're trying to add things to that closet and there's no room. So it's not going to stick. It's not going to land because there's no space for it. So what we have to do in that instance is we have to do this spring cleaning. We got to get in here and we got to figure out, okay, what the fuck is hanging out that is taking up space, that is no longer serving me, that is collecting dust, that hell, sometimes I don't even recognize it or know what the fuck it is, but it's preventing you from having the room, the capacity, the bandwidth, add those new connections and solidify them in your now. And I know that with all of this, I'll say the current culture of everything, it's all about everybody is spiritual. Everybody is this, everybody is that. Am I saying that that's not true? I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is we get attached to the glitz and the glamour, and we have the FOMO, and we want to know fear of missing out. If you don't know what FOMO is, what's going on? What's the new thing? What's the hot thing? So, what's the best thing? What's the whatever it is that you feel or you're saying to yourself? Before we jump into these things, we have to make space, make room. Otherwise, we're going to end up like the lady in the reel that I was just talking about, sitting on the floor eating Oreos because we're like, what the fuck is happening? And now what am I going to do with all of this shit that I pulled out? Think about it when you're really about to say deep clean something, or you've decided, you know what? Yeah, I need to, the energy of my living room is not how I want it. So I need to move some things around. Most of the time, we make a bigger mess than it already was in order to get it to where we want it to be. I want you to think about that for a moment. Sit with that moment. A lot of times, it ends up being a bigger shit show than we intended for it to be. But once we start pulling shit out and moving shit around, what happens? We find shit that we've been looking for forever. We find things that we've forgotten that we had, or we find out, oh well, damn, yep, I did lose this about 6 months ago, and since then I've bought three more because I might have lost the other two or misplaced the other two, or I couldn't find it when I needed it, so I bought another one. And a lot of times that's how we are when we're in this. I need to build connections. I need to build connections. So, yes, we're trying to connect with all of these new people, but everything that we already have stored up is blocking the way, it's blocking the connection because it's too much happening, right? It's too much going on. We've already got a mess that needs to be eradicated in order to free up that space. And that is where a lot of things that we don't want to do or we don't want to deal with come into play. That's where shadow work comes in. That is one of the most effective and the best vehicles for giving you the space and the room to create new connections, because you have no choice but to deal with the things from the past. And it's beautiful to have the mindset that I will not let my past dictate what I'm doing right now or what I'm going to do in the future. It's beautiful to feel like, hey, I've forgiven whatever from the past, and I'm just focused on my right now and my future. And it's great to say that. It's great to have that mindset. It's great to feel that way. But there's more that goes along with it. There is some work that you have to do. You have to go back and deal with the traumas and the miseducation from your childhood, from your youth, from your young adult life. You have to, because these things are hanging out and taking up space in our subconscious. And that is going to prevent us for having space and being open to opportunities in our present. So this is something that really has been on me, and I talk about this a lot. You guys know, if you've been listening to me for a while, that yes, I talk about shadow work a lot. I talk about you have to go back and deal with those past traumas, that inner child that was suffering and that's hiding and is causing you to react to things in ways that you no longer want to react in a specific way about. We have to do the work. We have to clean out. We have to clean it out. We got to clean out that closet. We got to make some room. We got to get into them junk drawers and get rid of shit that's been in there since the 70s. And we don't even know what the hell it is. It don't fit nothing no more. If you needed a replacement, you wouldn't be able to find one because everything's been upgraded, reevaluated, reconstructed, and everything else since then. So it's just junk taking up space. And don't get me wrong, I know that going back and dealing with your past and confronting those things, it can be painful. It can be hurtful. It can be scary. It can be an immense undertaking that, like that closet, you may look at it and be like, okay, boom, today's the day. I'm about to dedicate a few hours to this and I'm about to get this thing done. And before you know it, it's the middle of the night and you've got shit everywhere and you just like, oh my God, I can't. I just can't. That's going to happen. It is. It is. But the beauty of it is, once you've taken care of that, once you've gone back and you've addressed those things, once you've provided the validation and the love and the support and the healing to that younger you, to that traumatized you, to that unsure, scared you, and you've transmuted those feelings, that's going to free up space for you. It's going to free up space for new connections. It's going to free up space for new information. It's going to free up space for you to love. It's going to free up space for you to accept and receive love. It's going to free up space for you to begin flowing in and walking in your abundance, your brilliance, your genius, your beauty, your joy, your happiness right now. Because again, right now is honestly all that we have. Everything from our past that we are holding on to, those connections that we have not severed, are blocking new ones, better ones in our right now, in our present. And that is also going to stagnate us in our future. So my encouragement for you today is, even if it seems scary, even if you're just like, I just don't want to, I encourage you to take even the most minute baby step towards severing those old, no longer useful, no longer helpful connections from your past so that you can open up space in your life for growth, for joy, for happiness and abundance, and so much love that you never thought that you could receive or you could have in your life. You can do that. You can have that right now. But before you have the space for that, you got to clean up and get rid of all the junk, the non-serving connections that are hanging out from your past. And if you need somebody to be on that journey with you, I'm definitely here. If you need somebody to hold space for you while you're in that scary space and dealing with those scary things from your past, I'm here. I'm here. You can connect with me in numerous ways, and that'll all be in the show notes. As always, I do this and I say these things because I want to see you flourish. I want to see you shining in your full, authentic self, or healed, growing, and thriving. And I know that you can do that. I know that that is something that you can definitely have. You are worthy of that. You are worthy of that. So let's do the work. Let's dig in. And as always, cheers to your transformation. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the You Are Immeasurable podcast. Please remember to subscribe so that you can be notified whenever new episodes are dropped. Also, I'd love to have your feedback and your comments, as well as your 5-star rating. Additionally, if you'd like to connect with me, the show notes list all of my social media handles so that you can do so. So until next time, thank you so much, and cheers to your transformation.